we're back again, bafethu. So EFF marches to Africana only Clairefontaine accuses settlement of promoting racial segregation. There are many settlements that are promoting racial segregation in South Africa. There are many settlements. White people, especially the Afrikaners, guys, don't wanna be associated with us as black people. I don't know why. Maybe in Germany they've inherited this thing in Germany, in France, or wherever they're from. Because they literally don't, guys. They don't view us as fully humans. They might deny, but the fact of the matter, if they had their own way, they could bring back apartheid, these people. At work, they wanna be bosses. They wanna be, even if they don't have sufficient qualifications, if even they're underqualified, they wanna be bosses over black people. If you ever work with an African or person, he'll micromanage you, even if he is not your manager. I've worked with them, man, and so I know them. They used to fight with black people for no reason. So guys, let us continue. Us trying to assimilate, it won't work for us, thing. This thing of us non-racialism, what it won't work for us. It would work on our disadvantage. Anyway, let us continue with the article. The economic freedom fighters EFF in Gauteng have marched to Afrikaner-only town of Clairefontaine. The EFF accused the settlement outside of Pretoria of racial segregation and economic exclusion. South Africans were divided by the party's plans, with some saying they needed to focus on other things. Yeah, I agree. Like building ourselves up, guys. Building ourselves up. That's the only thing we should focus on. And focusing on removing the ANC, because they sold us a long time ago. They still chowing our mind for no reason. The economic freedom fighters EFF in the province will not allow any illegal segregation territory to exist in a democratic state. That's the message from the party in Gauteng ahead of their march to Clairefontaine, an Afrikaner-only settlement outside of Pretoria. Do you think the EFF guys are genuine in these things, or they just doing this for clout so that they could be on the news? You comment down below. The Red Berets marched to the settlement on the morning of Friday, 2 May 2025, in defiance of its existence. Clairefontaine was established in 1992 and covers over 900 hectares of land. It's reportedly home to 1.5 residents. So so the EFF, they feel threatened by 1,500 residents. Hi guys, you can use your time wisely, man. I don't support the whites only settlements, man. I don't support those things. Because I believe if white people want to exclude black people, they should go out of Africa, man. Leave Africa. You have your own continent. Just leave Africa. Go back to Europe. And get out of Israel, by the way. Because you know the true Jews. Anyway, let me go. EFF says the march is an act of defiance. Speaking ahead of the march, the party said it was an act of revolutionary defiance against persistence of racial segregation and economic exclusion. The EFF said that despite the collapse of apartheid, the settlement continues to operate under exclusionary principle as it allows only Afrikaners to reside there. The EFF considers this as a direct assault on the values of non-racial and inclusive South Africa, for which countless lives were sacrificed, the party said. Guys, man, black people don't need racialism. They need empowerment and jobs and justice and all that jazz. They don't need to be assimilated with no one. We don't need that. We can manage on our own. We can live happily as we've been doing for centuries. Even in the township, there's some form of happiness, but poverty comes in between our happiness. So we don't need to be assimilated to no one. We don't need that. The article continues. On August 2024, the Gauteng High Court declared Clairefontaine illegal based on violation of zoning regulation and municipal bylaws. The court directed the municipality to immediately enforce all relevant laws relating to planning the building regulation when it comes to the farms at the Kleinfontein settlements. The Red Berets instead want the city of Tshwane to reject the rezoning application of places that entrench racial segregation and economic exclusion. The party emphasized that planning and land zoning should be used to dismantle apartheid planning, not promote it. Much like its march to Kleinfontein, the EFF in the Northern Cape has previously expressed frustration with Orania, and they marched to Oriana. Guys, be frustrated with black people being poor, guys. You need to get your priorities straight. You lost certain percentage. You need to get your priorities straight. Do black people want to be assimilated to white people? No. I'm not promoting Orania and these white-only settlements. I'm against them also. But we cannot focus on those issues, Baba. If they want to be excluded from us, let them. We will deal with them later, after we empowered ourselves. Not like fighting them is going to bring bread on our table, no. The party emphasized that planning and land zoning should be used to dismantle apartheid, not promote it. I've read that. South Africa is divided by the EFF plans, so we'll read what the people are saying. Yolande V. Berg, Hulstuzen said, oh, these bitches. A lot of athletes in the EFF, whenever I see newspaper headlines, they are always marching. This reminds me of Trevor Noah's jokes that the reason why the apartheid continues so long, because black people when they march, they dance. Okay, Yolandi. Nadim Farad said, added, haha, Ishwena, the EFF loves too much. It's all they can do well. Peter Moruping noted, Africana's only town in 2025 in the so-called democracy. No, girl, Peter, there are many of these towns, I'm telling you. Even the wealthy suburbs, I've said it. Cape Town, it's a white-only town. There are white-only suburbs there, because black people can't afford to go there. And there are puppet political friends, which are blacks. Otherwise, there are many exclusionary methods in South Africa. Wealth is one of them. Wealth. While Dimay Rover suggested EFF do something useful, create your own community of peace and tranquility. Yeah, we can do that when Waldi. But still, we cannot continue discriminating or against one another. We cannot. If we want to discriminate against people of indigenous, go to Europe, guys. If you want to discriminate against indigenous people, go to Europe. In Europe, we won't come. It's cold, very in Europe. Nobody will come to Europe and stay. No black person will come to Europe and stay there. It's cold anyway. So if you want to continue discriminating us, we're now, well, they go to Europe. I'm begging you. Edima Tebula said, you are right, EFF. We don't want any segregation within our society. We don't, but we. Lelebu said, if Kleinfontein is private land, then let it be. Matandi Mabili said, we will stay anywhere we want. The inhabitant of Kleinfontein must go to the US. PK Oneng, nice work EFF, keep it up. People can't come from Netherlands and tell you that you can't access a location in your homeland. Aye guys, Munzim. If white people don't want to be assimilated with black people, guys, they don't. I'm telling you now, they don't want to be. You guys, let's live in non-racial society. Let's tell you, black people will like. Unite with your brothers and sisters, Baba. You can't unite with Caucasians. Anyway, you can't. Yeah, they won't unite with you. They don't want to be united with you. It might be few of them. 5 million of them. Only 100,000 are interested in uniting with black people. Is that number significant? So guys, we need to uplift ourselves, guys. We need to uplift ourselves. And I agree there's no one who wants to be associated with the losing side, which are black people. Black people have been on the losing side for many centuries. But we can turn that. We can. Anyway, subscribe, to like. Let us grow the channel. It's your boys in Tembi, Mzansi politics-zizipho. See you on the next video. Aluta.